G'day, Spice Legends. Welcome to Burner Bites Down Under, the hottest show down under. Spice Legends, we are joining ourselves tonight with the Northern Territory Chilli champion, Tom the Stomper. Whoa. The old Robert Story, that's probably a bad analogy. But the old legend all the way from Northern Territory in Darwin, he absolutely smashed out that championship there. We're pleased to announce that he's the winner and that he's now going to be in the Australian Chilli Championship. An 8-way battle royal rumble. Wow, battle royale, you might say, to see who will be the winner, the champion of Australia. And that winner will go with me to America to compete in the World Chilli Championship, sponsored by Netflix at Smoke and Egg Curry's farm. It's going to be pretty wild. It's going to be brutal. It's a hectic competition, 30 rounds, starting on habaneros, working all the way up to pure capsaicin at 16 million Scoville. It's going to be brutal. So let's bring in our competitor without further ado, and have a chat about him about all things chili before we get this comp. Tommy the Stomper, how you doing, legend?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. You're like, yeah, I'm all right. The thing, one of the things I did like about you when you were at the Darwin comp was you just seemed kind of cool, calm, and collected. But at the same time, you had a bit of a cheeky grin on you. You had a bit of playful banter. I was stirring you up because you had the Centrelink shirt, or singlet, actually. Which singlet, yeah. I absolutely loved, by the way. I loved that you rocked up in a Centrelink shirt. I'm like, that's such an Aussie thing, you know. And you just went for it, mate. You got to have a red hot crack. You punched a beer, and then you're like, let's go for it, you know. And how awesome. How awesome is that, mate? So how did you feel winning that comp, mate?
Oh, pretty rough. Like I said to you that morning, I was hungover and then pushing into that competition, my heart was already going. Then eating all that chili, I felt it.
Wow. So you don't have any major heart conditions or anything like that? Like that was probably something I probably should have asked earlier. I was like, what do you call it? Fill out those condition reports. No, anyway. No, but it was obviously, yeah, that's the thing about chili. You get your blood pumping and everything like that. Yeah. You know, I know that your heart starts moving when you're really feeling. You're like, oh, geez. So I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, that was quite a flex, mate. You know, and like to beat other competitors where they're not just big boys, but like we had some Asian competitors in there, and like that guy was this one guy that was no joke, was he? Like he didn't want to go down that dude, did he?
No, he was going until the end. And if he had had breakfast, we would have probably kept going.
I still can't believe that dude didn't have breakfast. I said, I said, what did you do to prepare me? He goes, what do you mean? This is my breakfast. I'm going, what? I'm thinking, if that guy had breakfast like you just said there, yeah. It could have been a different story. I don't know. But no, mate. After chatting with you a fair bit and seeing like what you get up to in your fun time, like you were telling me that you made a nachos from the world's hottest corn chips. Is that right?
Yeah, world's hottest corn chips.
You don't hear that very often. You know, you don't hear people going, oh, yeah. Just slap together a nachos with the world's hottest corn chips, you know.
Delicious,
it's a special kind of breed of people to do that one.
And then I put the Carolina Reapers diced up through my mince. And then I had the Apollo hot sauce and the bomb hot sauce tipped on top.
That one, that Apollo and the bomb.
And the bomb mixed on top.
This is no joke. What do you think of the gut bomb that this one gives, hey?
It's rough when it hits you. Like,
yeah. Because like it's weird. It's weird. You stick it in your mouth and it just goes bang straight up to 11.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes later, it's like bang, it's gone. You're going, okay. And you think, okay, maybe it's over. Maybe I survive. And then in the stomach. There it is.
That night, I woke up pretty average in the middle of the night. Like everything must have hit my stomach at once, and I was a bit rough. But
the old 2 a.m. gut cramps, eh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think everyone's been there that's had that experience, or they've done some sort of chili challenge, or they've done something where they've pushed their limit or their tolerance, and they're just going, oh geez, you know, I think I'm in trouble here, or you're gonna suffer later. And we were just sort of joking on camera as well before, guys. But sort of not really. I'm going to try and make sure I get these for you guys. So For those that don't know what this is the fire arse extinguisher. That's right. I haven't stuttered. It really is called the fire arse extinguisher. And it's been built and designed for chili lovers and people that want to do things where they push the limits. And you put it on your toilet paper after a challenge, and it helps make the fire go away down below, right? So I'm going to try and get you guys one of those each, because I'll tell you what, you're going to be feeling some fire down below. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, mate, look, well, let's start the interview. And it sounds like you're a bit of a chili lover. You're not afraid of spicy food. Do you remember what your first chili experience is? Have you got a first real chili experience where you're like, oh, I'll never forget the day that I did this thing?
I think I'll start where it started, right? I got into chili because I was swearing as a kid. And I remember, I was with my mum and me auntie, and she had these big bird's eye bushes. Yeah, I would have only been 3 or 4, and I said whatever swear word I said. And she's like, you got to go to that tree and pick one of those, and you have to eat it, and then you're in trouble. And me being dumb, picked the littlest, tiniest bird's eye I could find, and just burnt the fuck out of myself. After that, it was soap instead of chili. But
and so, how old were you then when you had that experience?
Only 3 or 4 years old.
And wow! So you're 3 or 4, and you had your first chili experience at a bird's eye. Good evening. We've got a good day from Chili Sauce Distributors. These guys are from South Australia. They're actually training and sponsoring the South Australian Chili champion, Ben Pittman, or AKA the Flamin' Ginger. So I think they're watching you. They're sussing out their competition, aren't they, eh? That's Jane and Gary. G'day, guys. So 3 years old. And so where do you go from there? Is there a certain... if you're starting your chili experience or your chili adventure from 3, geez, where did you go from there?
Well, you stop swearing pretty quick. But then after that, I realized I was good at it even at that age. And I liked all my food hot. Like everything's... And my old man...
Have you got any like cultural heritage from like any Indian or Asian ancestors or anything?
Nah, Australian Aboriginal, but...
Okay, there you go. So just a bit of a freak of nature. No, I'm just kidding. I say that to a lot of people. People ask, they go, "What kind of people are these?" I'm like, "Well, I affectionately refer them to as freaks of nature because they're not normal people, And like you just saying there, 3 years old, right off the bat, you knew you weren't really a normal person when it came to chili, at least.
And like my old man didn't help because he liked chili, and once he realized I could eat chili, it was always eat this hot thing, and me. Trying to copy my old man had put chili through his food, so I'd do the same thing. And for better or worse, everything I eat is chili because I don't taste other flavors too well, I guess. Like Mrs. cooks dinner for me, and she'd be like, "What do you reckon?" She's probably watching, and she'd be like, "What do you reckon?" Right, it needs chili.
Needs more chili.
Needs more chili. Everything needs more chili.
I see this guy's shirt, and he goes, NMC. I'm like, what's that? He goes, needs more chili. I was like, all right. And there's I've seen a few guys at chili festivals as well. They got these really interesting shirts. It's like OCD. And I'm like, what's that? It goes, obsessive chili disorder. I was like, and they've got all the different hats and things. There's some belter shirts out there. There's some great shirts. And I love there's some absolute legends out there that got some great slogans, some great shirts. So big shout out to those guys out there. Keep them coming. Keep those awesome shirts and that going. I love how people got playful banter and things like that. So I guess you sort of touched on it before, but I'll ask you officially: how often are you eating chili? Is it in every meal, or is it? What's the story?
It's just about every meal. So it chops and changes. Like if I have something really, really, really hot, I'll back off for a few days if I feel like I've done myself a bit of a mischief. But most meals is because I got bird's eyes downstairs, reapers downstairs, and I've got a special set of scissors, and I just chop them up over my dinner once it's served, whatever I'm eating.
Right. And so is there I know some people where, especially when they're doing competitions, that their tolerance gets pretty bloody high. If you're eating it regularly, your tolerance going to be a bit above average. Is there a certain level that you won't go down to? Like I know some people, they're just like, oh, jalapenos just don't do it for me anymore, Or is there are you more of a maximum level that you?
I just live up high at those habaneros, reapers. That's where I kick around for dinner.
So you won't go any lower than habanero?
Nah, not unless there's no choice. Like if you go to a buffet and they've only got jalapenos, well, having jalapenos.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So obviously tolerance is a bit above average then, that's for sure. Absolutely. And so was the comp at the Darwin Chili Chili Championship, was that your first chili comp, or have you done chili competitions or challenges before then?
No, that was the first comp. I mean, I've done stupid challenges in the sense of, hey, Tom, fucking eat this hot thing, but you can't eat this in front of me mates. Because it was actually my mate that put me onto the competition.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, he's like, I've seen you eat some of the stupidest stuff. Go do that. And so off I went. I didn't even go in planning to win. I was just going in for a bit of fun.
Just see what happens. Yeah. Well, that's how some of the best stories actually start. You know, the guy that won the first 2 years of the Australian champs did the same thing. His mates entered him in the comp. He didn't even know. And then 20 minutes before the comp, they go, hey, just so you know, we've entered you in this competition. He goes, oh, what? Oh, okay, all right. Give it a red hot crack, right?
Yeah.
But, that's how it goes. But everyone seems to have a lot of different experiences with chilies. And that, have you got like a best chili experience where you're just like, wow, I can't believe that happened, or that was amazing, or you had like a really good chili high or something, or is there anything like that you just sort of felt like there was like the best experience for you to do with chili or spicy food?
Winning the comp was up there. Like, just the elation to know I didn't have to eat any more.
No more, thank God.
Yeah. And then the realization of I got to go do it again, and it's like, oh fuck. But no, that was winning. That was fantastic.
Absolutely, you had the crowd roared in front of you. Everyone was absolutely stoked. So there was quite a few people at the Darwin Chili Festival, matey, but the Darwin Chili Championship. But we're going to see a lot more people at the Sawtell Chili Festival. So Sawtell has been around about 23 years. It's one of Australia's oldest chili festivals, and you can see anywhere between 30 to 40,000 people in the day. So it's massive, and we've actually got a whole stage decked out, lights, speakers, and everything like that. There's live bands and music and DJs and stuff. It's going to be a day. It's going to be a whole day. You're going to see, I think there's about 96 vendors there this year as well. So, huge shout out to Carl Moa for allowing us to be into his festival and acknowledging the competition for what it is and seeing the growth that it's had and it's the possibilities that it has and its potential. Yeah. But look, so we've just sort of touched on that best chili experience. Have you got a worse chili experience? Everyone seems to have that one story. G'day, Steve. So Steve's from Canberra. Steve is aka the Canberra Bunny, and Steve's going to be my assistant for the day as well. He's going to be helping me out to the Australian Chili Champs. So you'll see him in his Burner Bites hat and shirt as well, giving me a hand. So he'll be passing you guys all the evil stuff. You can blame me and him if you want. So what was your work chili experience, mate? I'm sorry.
I think it's got to be up there with most blokes. You know, cooking dinner, you go to the bathroom, come back, and then realize you've made a mistake.
I've done myself a tummy shame. Yeah. It's pretty nice when you get like extract of chili on the downstairs. But it's funny, like of all the places I've got it, and I've got it everywhere, as you probably can tell. Definitely wasn't born pretty. But I've got it down there plenty of times, but it seems to me the eyes never seem to adapt. I've opened eyes so many times, and that never seems to get better or adapt. Whereas that downstairs area, it still burns. Oh yeah, if you don't, especially if you don't wash yourself well, which you probably learn, and definitely on the day, we'll be giving you guys some gloves. So take me up on the offer and giving you gloves because.
Can you get bigger gloves this time? The ones we had in Darwin, I can put my hand in it. And
what size are your hands?
Extra large for rubber gloves.
Okay, well we've got large. Maybe we have to get some XXLs. Yeah, we'll get some XXLs just for you, big boy. Show us your mitts, go like that. Oh yeah, you've got some big mitts, mate. Far out. Yeah, I would be worried fighting you, man. Absolutely. It will be a pleasure to meet you all, says Steve. Yep. So Steve's coming all the way from Canberra. So bit of a mission. Thanks for tuning in, Steve, as well. So that was the worst chili experience, was it?
Yeah, I reckon so. Rubbing it up down there by accident and then
and you've ever got chili in your eyes as well, or?
Oh, I've had it in my eyes, but I reckon that was worse. Like normally I'm more aware of my eyes, so I'm careful, whereas just didn't think, I was like, oh, I got to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you get to a certain level where you're burning so much, you're just not thinking anymore. And then you're just like, you do this thing and you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
what did I just do? So try and keep that in your mind somewhere when you're doing the comp, even though you're wearing gloves, that you can still rub it in your
glove.
But we'll have a box of them in front of you guys, so you'll be allowed to change gloves if you want. That's your choice. Yeah. So we'll leave that to you because that's one thing where we're like, yeah, that's fair. The eye's awful, says Punk Gardener. So Punk Gardener's watching from TikTok. Wow, Punk Gardner is a hell of a competitor. They're an amazing consumption eater as well, but they've found out the hard way. How you going, mate? They've found out the hard way that extracts are just a different level when you get it on your body parts, and really. So that will go from that worst experience, mate. What's it called? What do your family and friends think of what you're attempting here? This do they think it's just insanity and crazy, or are they really proud of you? What's the story going at the moment with what's going on?
They keep telling me if I don't win, don't come back. So I've got good mates. So
yeah. So that if you don't win, don't come back. All right. So when are you moving to Sydney? No, I'm just kidding. Just joking. But what about your family? Then are they behind you on this as well, or?
My little brother's jealous because he reckons he could beat me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
so
I don't rate him. Like he'd have a crack, but.
So he's just jealous. What's your little brother's first name?
Jack.
Jack. So your little Jack. So huge shout out, little Jack. But sorry, mate, not this time. No, I'm just gonna. Don't let go, Jack.
No, because he was working. So he missed out.
What about mum and dad? Do they just think you're an absolute nutter, or they're just going, all that punishment is finally paid off?
Yeah, they just think I'm just a bit out there. But
because what do you do for work? You're involved in cranes or something? Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm a diesel mechanic, but I work on cranes, mobile cranes, crawler cranes, and stuff.
Wow, so you obviously work with some rough and tough guys out there, working on the machines. But then you show your workmates this kind of stuff, and they're just going, this guy.
Everywhere's got blokes that think, especially on mine sites and that, they're like, oh, I've got this hot chili and bring chili sauce to camps. And then I would bring stuff in and they wouldn't play with you afterwards,
Oh, nobody wants to play with me.
Yeah.
I've done that with my workplace too, and people are going, oh, are you like chili? You bring some stuff in. I'm going, yeah, okay. And they're like, don't give that to me ever again. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And they're like, that shit was evil, man. Like, seriously? Yeah. No, that's why my workmates are like, Jack, I've said I can't beat you. Oh, Jack's watching on TikTok. Jack said I can't beat you. There you go. There
you go. I messaged him saying I was on.
And Punk Gardner said they're very bad with extracts as well. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in, Jack. But, there you go. So, for those watching why I'm looking this way, I've got a TikTok feed here as well. So that TikTok is sort of watching sort of from my point of view, because we want to keep TikTok involved as well. If you're watching from this stream, this is Facebook and YouTube, and then TikTok's just that way. But, obviously everyone's sort of behind you. We were really kind of stoked with the response from Darwin. We got so much. What's the opposite of backlash? We've got so much
praise,
support and praise for the Darwin Chilli champs. That we're already successfully. We're installing a second one next year, so it's already been approved. So if you're listening, Darwin, wherever you are, we are having a Darwin Chilli champs next year, the last Saturday of April. So stay tuned. Tom, you as well, mate. You're welcome back. Even if the town doesn't want you, welcome back. But it's gonna come back. We're gonna be bigger, better. We're gonna have more stalls. We're gonna have more chili stuff. We're gonna have more fun, more prizes, more stuff. What is it? You'd have chili on your cereal if you could, says Tara Conroy. Is that the message?
That's my wife, yeah.
Thanks, Jara. That's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So if you could comment as well below, Char, if you want to stir him up and razz him up, is there anything that he wouldn't have the chili on, or is there things where you just go on, I wish he wouldn't have chili on that? Like, well, I've actually heard of a company. You're not going to believe this. There's a company called Chili Willies. So it was funny you mentioned that before. It's a company called Chili Willies, and I'm thinking, was it? More active TikTok Instagram. Do I put some chili powder on my cereal? Oh, Punk Garner reckons they put chili powder on the cereal. There you go. So you're not the only one, mate. Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of Canadians, they put the maple syrup in the cereal too. And I thought that was funny at first, but then I tried and I'm going, oh, I think they're onto something.
You can see what they're onto something, yeah.
I'm a bit of a sweet tooth, but a bit of chili powder and maple syrup, I think, would be the go. And then maybe a little bit of paprika. And then you've gone from a breakfast cereal to more like a soup. But yeah, okay, that sounds all right. So Tara's got your back as well, but she's obviously does she have a bit of a gas mask on after the comp? Like,
no, she was actually away with work, so she missed it.
Oh, there you go. So she didn't have to cop the consequences. There you go, Tara.
Yeah, because we've only got the one bathroom in the house.
Maybe get a gas mask when he comes back. Was it? Oh, here you go. She commented, if you won't try it, give him a beer and ask again. But he eats chili on everything. Oh, there you go. So you're one of those hold my beer kind of types. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's usually when the best stories start, isn't it? Absolutely. Uncle Mungo's maple ghost chili syrup. There you go. I really rate that, Punk Gardener. Absolutely. That's a fantastic flavour. So I love Uncle Mungo's stuff. They've got really well-balanced sauces. So Uncle Mungo's, if you're not aware of them, they're down in Melbourne. They've got a great range. They go from mild all the way to wild. And, oh, my God, some of the stuff goes wild. One of the creations, he made a challenge product called the Yen R, which is a chocolate skull with 16 million pure capsaicin in it. And it is brutal. I seen someone lick it and just fall to the ground and start crying. It was like, oh, damn. So it is brutal. Just not in your beer or bourbon. That's what Steve says. So, look, everyone seems to have a bit of a team going on. Have you got many people going to be cheering you on when you're at the Aussie Chili Champs, both in person and in the live stream?
Probably not so much in person, but on the live streams, there's a few people. They're sort of talking about setting up display so they can all tune in and watch it at the pub together.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have 3 streams available for everyone, no matter where you are. That's the point. We don't want anyone to miss out. The whole point is to try and be as inclusive as possible. That's the other reason why we obviously went to Darwin, is we want not only a competitor from every state and territory in Australia, but we want everyone in Australia to be able to either participate or be able to watch or cheer on their competitor, their mate, their friend, their family member, whatever. Because that's the whole point of it, that's the weird thing about this competition. It was sort of born out of the idea behind State of Origin. Like you've seen State of Origin, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's where I originally got it from. Was I wanted to create a state versus state, mate versus mate kind of competition. But then I realized the one thing that I really did get annoyed with State of Origin is there's only 2 states.
Yeah.
It's only about New South Wales and Queensland. And
Queensland,
that's frustrating. Yeah, it's not even half the country. That's right. Because there's 8 states and territories in Australia. People keep forgetting that, So that's why this sort of got born out of that, where I like the thing about chili is it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, black, white, Asian, whatever. Everyone can compete on the same level. No one really has an advantage, and that's what is awesome. We're all human, and all you have to do is just stick this stuff in your mouth, but you've got to deal with the consequences later, right? And that's the only thing that sort of dictates the winner is how well you deal with those consequences, So that's why I was really proud to be able to do this. We had a previous competitor from Queensland who was wheelchair bound, and I was really proud to be able to have inclusivity in there, have female competitors. We've had every type of person. It's been fantastic. So I'm pretty stoked to have every single state and territory involved this year. And obviously, we want as many different feeds. So like I said, on the day, we're going to have 1 static feed where it's just going to be stable and not moving. We're going to have 2. They're going to be similar to this one, where they'll be roving around in your faces, annoying the crap out of you, all that kind of stuff. So, don't worry. We've got your back, Darwin. and we'll be making sure those streams are available to you. So, again, if you're not aware of those streams, it'll be similar to the setup tonight. There's going to be Australian Chili Champs live stream, Darwin Chili Champs, what do you call it? Burner by Down Under on YouTube and Facebook, Mr. Chili, as well as I think we're going to have League of Fire and we're going to have TikTok as well as my personal account, Phil North. So hopefully we've covered enough bases on that one there to get everyone involved in the stream. But the next question I want to sort of ask you is every competitor and every chili or spice legend or chili fiend seems to have a sort of a direction they seem to gravitate towards. They either like fresh chilies or they like more spicy products. Is there something you prefer where you're like, oh, I much like that more of a product fiend, or you're more of a raw chili fiend? What do you sort of gravitate towards?
I reckon products. Like I'm a massive fan of Hot Ones, the show. And like I love the sauces on the chicken wings and everything.
Yeah. And
so I like to make my own chicken wings and then put sauces and spices on them and replicate Hot Ones.
Nice. Have you? So you've done you've replicated and done your own kind of Hot Ones challenge. Is that right?
Yeah. And gotten all the chilies. I had my brother around. He had one wing and then folded. So.
How many did you have in the end?
A tray of them.
A tray. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And what was the hottest wing you made?
Would have been the Da Bomb, I reckon.
Yeah, that one. Wow, that's it's hot. It's definitely not the hottest thing I've tried, but that flavor, I really don't like that flavor, and I know a lot of people are going, yeah, why am I trying battery acid? What's? I'm like, I'll tell you a quick little story. Concarne says she likes spicy wings, and chili competitions are generally competitive eating, genderless and ageless. Yeah, which is awesome. All the same, he made them all hot as shit, says Jack. And Concarne's like, Da Bomb is just chemical. Yeah, it is. I'll tell you a quick little anecdote. Have you heard of a company called is a burger joint called Burger Urge?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you guys got one there. So they've got this Death Wish burger, or it's the double Death Wish burger, or whatever.
I've had that. It's good.
Yeah, it's actually a good burger, right?
Yeah.
And so I went over there, and they knew that we were coming, right? And like they found out through our posts, like, oh, he's coming. Oh yeah, let's set him up, right? and then they were sort of umming and ahhing. The chef was like, do we fuck with them or do we not? And then my mate was with me. And he's a phenomenal chili competitor as well. He's great. He's definitely above average. And he was mouthing off and going, it's not even that hot. I tried one in Brisbane. It was not even hot. Look, it's barely tickled. And the chef's like, to fuck with. Yeah, we're going to fuck with him. Like, and so, look, we didn't know. We just thought we were just trying the standard one, right? And they're going, enjoy. And we're like, okay. And we're like, timing ourselves and sort of big up ourselves a little bit, maybe talk too much trash, And they're eating us going, pretty solid heat. Let's go with this. Pretty solid heat. And we come out when we're finished. They come out when we're finished. The waitress is going, did you enjoy your burgers, boys? We're going, why do you say it like that? And they go, well, the chef heard you, and we knew you were coming. So instead of just putting the one sauce that we normally put on, we put that one sauce and smashed it, like slathered it. Normally we just put a couple of like little boop, 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 done, right? We've just like doused the hamburger patty on it. Then the next hamburger patty, whatever, and they've gone Da Bomb and like coated Da Bomb, and then they coated it in this other sauce is like, I don't know, Reap or something or whatever. And they're just going, there you go. And like, so when I'm eating it, every time I'm biting it, like sauce is dripping out of it. It's like covered in this thing. And even my mate's gone, that was a bit hotter than the last one. Like it was going, and that's why. And we're like, that'll do it. Yeah. The sauce is from 30 Angry Scorpions. That's right. Punk Garden. Absolutely. Which is, I thought it's a fantastic sauce, actually. And I really, really rate 30 Angry Scorpions. They're a hot sauce company from Brisbane. If you haven't tried their stuff, go and try Jekyll and Hyde. They've got two versions of it. Jekyll and Hyde is the original. And then they have, I don't know if I've got it hiding around here somewhere. They've got a Jekyll and Hyde where it's It's a private reserve one, and they've mixed whiskey in it from wild turkey or what's turkey? I think it's 100 proof whiskey, and it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful barbecue sauce. It's got some stomp and heat. It's got some there you go, stomp. Tom the stomp. Stomp and heat. Yeah, it's got some good scorpion heat in it. And it's a pretty bloody hot sauce. But at the same time, it's got a solid flavor too, whereas like you're saying with the bomb, it's just it's not, you're not there to enjoy it, you're there to burn from it and revel in your pain and agony. Basically, that's why they created it. They did it because they could. Whereas that 13 Angry Scorpions is just beautiful. Yeah, that's right, Punga. Yeah, she goes, we just stitched ourselves up. So obviously a bit of a product man. I love my products as well. But now, did you have any training or prep before you attempted this the comp that you did in Darwin?
No, it's just swung into it, hungover, like I said, and
that's right. You were hungover as well. So, what do you think the hungover was helping you, or was that hindering you at all?
I think it was really hindering me. But where it helped was on my way out, I swung past KFC and got myself a Zinger Stacker burger, and so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have eaten breakfast, and I would have been like old mate. So, hangover made me eat.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things because he was a very skinny dude. I think that's why he puked, is he either ran out of space or he was just like, I'm not putting anything in the stomach. So yeah. And I was going to say the KFC thing, the way you just said it, that always sounded like a sponsorship. That's funny. But speaking of sponsorships, see the hat there. We've got Coates there, and obviously as well. We're proud to have Coates, our official sponsor for our Darwin Chilli Champion. They've paid for Tom the Stomper's flights to Sydney and back. So thank you so much, Coates. Hi for that. There you go, legends. And so we're really proud to have our sponsors involved in stuff like that. You're going to see a giant Papa Flock logo on the back of my shirt on the day. Papa Flock has sponsored our Western Australian Chilli Champion. And we'll obviously be proud to have Darwin behind you, got your back as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But so that being said, you didn't do any training, prep, or conditioning for that comp. No. Going into this one, this is a bit of a different level. It's on a different scale. Are you attempting any training and prep and conditioning for this national one?
So I've stepped up what I've been eating. Everything's hotter, more chilies, and more times a day. Like sometimes I come home from work, get a chili off the tree, eat the chili straight away, and just work my way through it.
So you don't do them at work?
No. Don't have the time.
You're just sitting there working on an engine and like, oh, well. You just see guts falling out. No, speaking of, you said you had some stuff on your plant in your tree. Is that right? Are you going to munch any for us tonight?
Yeah, so I've got this.
Yeah. So is it a Reaper or a Hab?
It's off a Reaper plant. I don't know why. It's very, very smooth. The last ones that I've got some in the freezer, but they're frozen because I want to make bludgeon with them. They look a lot more Reaper-like.
Yeah. Well, while we're on the topic of bludgeon, now I've been hearing things, and we were supposed to have bludgeon on the day available, and it was going to be one of the rounds in the comp too. Now, I found out that apparently bludgeon is pretty unique to Darwin and the Northern Territory, and a couple of other like Asian kind of countries. But for those in Australia that don't know what the hell you're talking about, like what is this bludgeon stuff? Do you want to tell the uninitiated and the people that are unaware what the hell is bludgeon and why are people going on about it in Darwin and Northern Territory?
So bludgeon is a paste, like a chili paste made with shrimp, onions, and chilies. And then I personally use goose hearts and livers and giblets that you go shoot them out of the sky and then gather up those bits, dice it up, and you put it in a big pot with oil for hours and hours and like kilos of chili. So when I learned to make it, it was 2 kilos of bird's eye chilies and 1 kilo of just your green Thai chilies, and just boil all that away and reduce it down until you've just got a paste, and you put your meats and paste in, your shrimp paste, and then you put it on everything.
Yeah. So, because I was to the understanding, bludgeon is awesome, says Punk Gardner. It's the best flavour for laksa and nasi lemak. And bludgeon base is actually dried shrimps and fermented. No, there you go. Right. But what I've been told and what I'm hearing as well is that everyone seems to have their own blanching recipe and their own style. Or you were saying there's some shrimp, but some people put fish or octopus. There's always different people that have different styles of this recipe where they go, my one is the best because it has this in it. And my one's the best because this one. My one's the spiciest. Mine was the tastiest, And there's this like bunch of about that. Is that right? Like, I'm hearing a bit of fierce competition in the territory of Darwin about that. Is that right?
A lot of people are really secretive about how they make it too. They won't give you exact measurements on anything. It's the
like,
recipe.
I'm not going to tell you how much.
My grandmother taught me this, and this is my family recipe. They get real secretive over it.
Right. And so I know that, like, obviously Darwin's really close to a lot of different Asian countries just above. There's Indonesia and Papua New Guinea and Philippines and all that. So a lot of the cuisine there is obviously a lot of Asian inspired. But why is it that Blanchard is so like this? It's so competitive. It's so fierce. Everyone seems to have their own version or their own opinion. Why is it that one particular dish stands out above all? What is the story with that? You know why? Like anything behind that?
I don't have an answer like per se, but I have a theory on it. Is because you can't just go down to the shop and buy it. It's something you have to know someone who's made it. It's only in the recent years that there's little specialty shops where you can go buy it. Otherwise, it's always been someone's backyard project. And
right.
People save up all their jars.
Yeah. But I bet you that someone, like I've heard this so many times, especially with hot sauce too, is you go to Woolworths or Coles or whatever, and they go, oh yeah, but there's hot sauce, like people that are general public. They go, oh yeah, there's hot sauce in the Woolworths or Coles. You go, that's not hot sauce, And I can imagine people over there going, oh, that's not blanching. That's not. This is how you make blanching, kind of thing, And like, so with your recipe, did you say that was handed down in your family as well, or what's the story?
Yeah. So I got taught off my cousin, who got taught off grandmother and auntie. So
wow. So that's like, what is it, 3 or 4 generations there? Jeez.
Yeah. Except I don't make it to that recipe so much anymore because I've changed it.
You augmented it to your kind of palate, your flavor. You like.
Yeah. So the last set I made it with habaneros, and it made it incredibly sweet. And it was like really nice to put on like pork and stuff. It was delicious like that, but not so good with plain rice. Like it was just a weird flavor. Whereas regular belacan, I would just, you get your bowl of rice and just throw your belacan on top, and that's dinner.
Right. So that's what I unfortunately, what's it called? I've seen from a lot of people that what do you call it? Everyone, like I said, everyone has their own opinion about blanching and that, and everyone says there's different consistencies and things like that. That it's sort of somewhere between a laksa, somewhere between a soup, somewhere between a curry, but not quite any of them. It's this weird kind of in between.
Yeah,
is that right?
I think it's like a relish. Like for me, like all the ones I've ever had, they come in a jar, and you've got the paste in the bottom, and then a layer of oil sits on top to keep it sealed and fresh, because it'll keep in the fridge for months.
And so it obviously doesn't go off pretty easily either.
Yeah, as long as you're careful. Like if you get your spoon, you dip your spoon in and then mix it with your food and then jam that same dirty spoon in there again, it'll go off in a day or two. But if you just use that spoon really carefully and, don't reuse the same spoon in the jar, always use a clean spoon and keep the oil layer above the meat, it'll last a long time.
Wow. So it sounds like it's a bit sensitive to bacteria or something there.
Yeah, I think it's all the shrimp pastes that we use.
It could be the seafood. Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to be careful with seafood because that's the thing. Like seafood is such a fickle mistress. You can make some really good dishes with seafood, but if she goes off,
you know about it.
There's consequences, absolutely, which you're probably aware of as well. Tom's talking about blanching. It's not the same thing like what we know in Singapore or Malaysia. Jack, sorry, my reply was for you. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So To do with the training and that, what is there anything specifically that you're doing? Oh yeah, sorry, we didn't watch you eat the Reaper, so should we let you eat the Reaper now? Sorry, we've gone off track. There you go. Munch it down a bit of Reaper. So you like the Reaper kind of flavor? Is that something you...
It's a very
sorry.
It's like a really distinct flavor. Like everything you eat, you can always tell it's had Reaper in it.
Oh yeah, like, it's
not just like hot. It's also got a bit of
it'll cut through any dish. Like I don't think I've ever eaten a dish with Reaper in it and not gone, oh, what kind of chili's in it? Like no, you know straight away. There's Reaper in that. And so, you like that kind of flavor? Are you more of a savory man, or are you more of a sweet kind of?
Savory.
Savory, yeah. Well, that explains it, yeah. Because like I know plenty of people where they're like, I will never eat a Reaper ever again to the day I die because they don't like it because they like sweet. And I'm a bit of a sweet tooth, but I don't mind Reaper flavors in certain dishes. But then I know other people like yourself and some of the other competitors, and then people like Brianna Skinner, they're just popping it in like they're lollies. And I'm going, okay. I just love the flavor. I was like, yeah, there you go. Well, here we go. Better. All right. He once made a curry that made my mouth bleed. Wow. Do you want to tell us about that one, Tom?
I think it was an accident. I was just chopping chilies, making a curry, put all these I got this dry chili flakes in the freezer that I just put a whole heap of stuff in, not really thinking. And then fed it to my wife, and her mouth was bleeding. And I don't think it was the chili that made her mouth bleed. I think it's got to have been the heat or something, like just the hot curry, right? I don't think I've ever burnt myself that bad. But then again, she'll chop chilies and she gets blisters. So,
she might be allergic to chili, mate.
Maybe.
And she's living with you.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's not a match made in heaven. That's a match made in hell. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry, Tara. Maybe be careful with it, or maybe get tested or something. But how you feeling? I'm seeing a little bit of moisture around that eye there.
Yeah, it's just.
You don't touch the eyes. No, don't touch the eyes.
No. This is my biggest problem with chili is it just makes me sweat. Like just.
That's the thing. Like because you and I, we're not little guys, and when you got little bit of weight on you. You get sweat at the drop of a hat. And even when I was younger, when I was thin, I was a stick, I would just sweat at the drop of a hat. I'm just always a sweater. So no matter how hot a chili thing is, I'll eat a jalapeno or a jalapeno popper, and I'm sweating. And my girlfriend's like, don't you eat bloody stupid? And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I sweat at everything, Anyway. But so the other thing I want to ask you is everyone seems to have a bit of a mindset in competitions. And competing and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on competing and your competition mindset for the competition coming up ahead? Can we talk a little bit about your mindset on the Darwin Day first?
Yep.
We'll move towards the national comp. So tell us about what your mindset was on the day and what do you think got you out of the line there?
So on the day, it was just I rolled in not really planning on. I didn't intend to win. It was just go in, have some fun, and see where I ended up. But then my mate Cameron joined in on the competition, and then it was like, right, well, I can't lose to him.
Can't lose this guy.
Yeah. And then once we got down to that final three, it was just stubbornness, So I've come this far, I may as well just push through. So.
Yeah. And so let's move towards the national comp. So you're obviously you're training, you're building, you're prepping up yourself to condition yourself for the day. You've seen, I'm not sure if you've seen any of the live streams we've had recently, people like Gabby and the other guys.
I lost her in New Zealand.
They are not pushovers, hey?
Yeah, she's insane.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on going up against and competing against someone like that? One of the things I noticed about the guy in New Zealand, Shannon, the guy with the big whopping big who came second to her.
Yeah.
I said, what were you thinking when it was just you and him? And he goes, honestly, this is off camera and off after the comp. He goes, honestly, he's just like, just don't fucking look at her. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Don't look at that face. I'm like, why? He goes, if I look at that face, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to quit. And I was like, well, okay, that's pretty solid advice. So it's sort of like like the horses when they go racing,
on. Yeah.
have the blinders on or whatever. Yeah. I was thinking, okay, so I'm thinking, is that something that you're going to, that's clever. Is that something that you're going to try on the day, or what is your mindset at for the day?
Well, I'm not going to come last, hopefully. Like, stubbornly, I'll be there. Like, I'd like to win. Yeah. So I'm going to go in just pig-headedly and just, I don't know. Like I said to my wife, the only thing that'll slow me down is if my heart was to just explode or my head fucking fall apart, you know?
Look, I really sincerely hope your heart doesn't explode on the day. We are going to give you some pretty hot stuff. So, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone's heart explode. That's for sure. And you're obviously eating a lot of chili regularly anyway before this. So we clearly know that you're not allergic to capsaicin. And if you did have serious heart problems, then you would have had an issue before now. So, and I got a feeling you're not pregnant as well somehow. I don't know.
not at the moment.
Yeah. But the other thing is, well, you said you had some World Class corn chips made. Do you want to eat a chip for us as well?
Yeah. So those, you actually gave me that packet.
There you go. Wow. You're welcome.
Oh, that's probably a bit loud on camera.
Tell him about the steak you made. Oh, he goes, tell him about Jack says, tell him about the steak you made with them.
Right, it wasn't a steak. No, he's talking about the nachos.
Oh, yeah, okay. The nachos. Is that what you're talking about, Jack? The nachos he made with the World Class corn chips? That corn chip flavor is so bland. Yeah, we were just saying that before when we pumped. Nah.
You're a bit stale.
He reckons there's something he did with the steak.
Oh, he did with the steak.
Oh, what did he do with the steak?
Yeah, so he...
I had his house years ago and made a steak.
Yeah, he was looking after my house. And these chili flakes I've got in the freezer from years ago. And they're hot. I can't remember what they're made of. I think they might actually be Reaper. Just dried, turned into flakes. Yeah. And he was going through my freezer, he bought himself this flash steak, looking after my house, and got these chili flakes out and like spread them across the steak as though it were like little shitty flakes, and just covered it. Cooked his steak and then couldn't eat it. Calls me up, pissed off with me. He's like, "What the fuck's in your freezer?" And I was like, "Chili flakes, man. You only use like a little bit." But he'd just dose the whole top of the steak with it, and it was all over.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. That is gold. Yeah, that is absolutely gold. Have you got anyone else with any other pranks with chili as well? Or do you just keep getting Jack over and over again?
So these same flakes, I was hanging out with a couple mates, and we're in the back shed, and I passed the flakes around to everybody and was like, "Try these, have a look." And they're like, "Smell it," because you smell them and they're just like, you crack the lid off the top and it stinks. Not stinks, but you can just smell, like, it's hot. And my mate grabbed the little jar of it I had and put it on the rim of a beer bottle of my other mate, like with his finger. And I had no involvement in it. I told him, "They're hot. They're here for me to eat my food. Like, you can have them, but none of you like hot stuff." But he'd like dip his finger in there, rimmed old mate's beer bottle with it, and he's had a big swig of his beer and just burnt the fuck out of his mouth and everything. So he was having a bad day. But then the bloke that done it went and rubbed his eyes with the finger he dipped in there. And then he was over the sink crying, and just the whole time I'm sitting down just looking at him like, "I told you not to fuck around with it, guys," but they can't help themselves.
That reminds me of this thing. So Punt Gardner's watching, so she'll know the person I'm talking about. So before I moved to Sydney about 4.5 years ago. We were doing this in Queensland, right? We were doing interviews similar to Hot Ones. We decided to do a similar setup to Hot Ones, but Australia style, live in person at like pubs, clubs, breweries, things like that, and film it live because you can't really go cut, stop, go back. Let's do those tears again.
Yeah.
You know,
ABC did that to me the other day.
Yeah, you eat your chili toilets or you're screwed. Like you do the best you can, and you can't do another take. So we did this, and we somehow got it's Punt Gardener. So I'll explain. So this has involved Adrian Zaccaro from Fire and Lane Gourmet Chili's down in Logan. It's near between Gold Coast and Brisbane, and he makes amazing products, by the way. And also he was our sponsor for the meat. So instead of going wings like hot ones, we would go steak. And really good Wagyu steak, high marbling, or pork belly, right? It was either steak or pork belly. And what he got us, I could not believe this. He got his Marble 9. I didn't know Marble 9.
That's not cheap.
Right? And it's so fatty and beautiful. You put it in your mouth and it almost melts in your mouth. You go, what is this? Gorgeous flavor. Anyway, so we had this really good up. I really appreciate it. I still thank Adrian Zaccaro to this day. I even said jokingly to him one time, going, I never want to put another man's meat in my mouth. And my girlfriend was like, do I need to be worried about you too? Like, what's going on? Right? So anyway, it was just kind of funny. But he had been working on this extract, which was called Death Extract, he named. 14 million Scoville. It was the hottest thing I had come across in ever at that time.
Yeah.
Because this is 4.5 years ago, right? At least, or maybe 5 years ago now. And we had somehow scored an interview with one of the local radio hosts for this company. I think it was the radio's called CFM. Yeah, that was insane. Adrian is Chili Alchemist, says Pip. Bizarre. My God, absolutely. He is. This guy is like a scientific wizard. He's a mad scientist with stuff. He just figures everything out to a scientific degree, even with his growing. He that way. He's brilliant. He's one of those few people that I know where he puts his hands to something and he just finds a way. He just does. Anyway, he made this amazing extract, which he somehow found a way to caramelize it, right? Most extracts you try are just disgusting, right?
Yeah.
This one was all right, but it was stupid hot. But this is... So anyway, I had never tried this extract, and we were doing this interview with this guy. And how we scored the interview was they were a pair. It was a male and female host on radio. And he had gotten her with this prank and scared the living crap out of her. And she goes, right, I want revenge on him. Call in now and we can get revenge. Well, help me get revenge on him, right? And I called him and go, mate, we can burn the absolute living crap out of him, because we're still like an hot ones. And she goes, you're in, let's get this done. I was like, sweet, And I said, give me as much background info as you can. And something happened. She got busy. We didn't get any info about it, right? So we sort of went in blind going, oh, well, we'll just bring our usual stuff. Turns out this dude was a huge chili beast. He loves his chili. He grows his chili every day. He eats chili every day, every meal. He's chomping on pods. We're going, oh. So we get to the last sauce and he goes, is that it, mate? Is that all you got? Oh, and then Adrian comes to me with a big gloved hand and this test tube of this black evil shit. And he goes, I think it's time. I'm like, oh, shit. And I've never done this before. This is my virgin run on this thing. I'm going, oh, this is going to hurt, Because I knew, that death track is not to be messed with, says Punk Gardner. Yeah, 14 million Scoville. So I just get a toothpick, go, donk, just go straight in the tongue, like that. This guy, obviously way smarter than me, right? And I caught on. We watched the film back later, and he was putting the sauce in the meat, folding it, and then going and pushing it as far back into his mouth as he could. Right? Whereas I just got the extract going straight in the tongue, bang, like clearly, just instant transmission, right?
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, cool as a cucumber, right? Because he was thinking about it. I'm trying to think about what I'm saying and engaging him in the camera. And he's going, what's wrong, Phil? And I'm like, just grab milk, and I started gargling milk. And he's like, oh, well, what's going on? But then all of a sudden, you see his face goes, okay, the schedule, I think we need to go, so let's wrap things up kind of thing. And I'm going, okay, again, because I'm burning, I'm not thinking properly.
Yeah, you're not.
So I'm like, okay, man, you got to do what you got to do, And then he's just sort of just taken off and just sort of marched out really quickly, like speed walking out and going, maybe he was burning. He just kept that poker face, and he's just like, oh, I'm going to go,
Yeah.
And funny. And so then to add to the fuel to my fire, I'm going, yeah, cool. We've cut, we're wrapped, there are finished the thing, and I've gone, I'm stinging to go to the loo. Go to do a number one, and I'm like holding my thing and going,
oh fuck.
And I was like, what did I do with that? And that's what I'm saying. Like, the burn from that was intense. And, like, I was, like, looking around for anything just to scrub it off. And there's nothing. And I've gone to the bar. Has anyone got, like, some detergent and something I could wipe something with? And they're going, here you go. And all they had was a scourer. So I'm sitting in the bar and going, what? Get off. And it was so funny. Like, that night I'm having a shower and my junk was just so red. It was just so funny. Yeah, I'm just looking in the mirror going, wow, So yeah, that really stuck from God, absolutely. So that was sort of my first real intro into extracts, and 14 minutes ago, nothing to joke at. But that being said, it was probably one of the tastiest extracts that I tried because he somehow caramelized it. I don't know how he did it. Don't ask me exactly how, but it was both amazing and frightening at the same time.
Yeah.
So there is a process to make extracts tasty or tastier, but you've got to really be paying attention to the scientific method and stuff you're doing about it as well. But sorry, we've gone a bit off track there. Howie, let's get back to the national comp. What are you going to do to try and combat having to face against your fellow competitors like Adam and all these other guys that again are not normal people, as you know?
Yeah. Well, I figure I was just going to go in not hungover for starters, so I can feel a bit better.
Not about it.
And then
and
I reckon I'll still swing the KFC in. Big up full of KFC.
I don't know if there's a KFC in Sawtell, but yeah, either way, I think you'll find something. At least at Mickey D's. What do we call it? Macca's. I don't know why I call it Mickey D's. I'm talking Americans too much. Mickey D. Well, Jack says he's off. Good luck, mate. Got a city to protect. What does that mean?
He thinks he's Batman, but he's just a copper.
Oh, okay. I thought he's a cop. Okay. I can just imagine this guy with like a chili suit. I'm Batman. Okay, so obviously just trying to do the steps before the comp to just make those little
make
things
sure there's
easier.
something. Yeah, just need something in my gut because it always sucks when it hits your stomach and you're not ready for it.
Don't it? And can I say that anyone watching at home, anyone's watching this later on, don't do chilling challenges on an empty stomach. It always ends badly. Trust me, I know. And so Tom sounds like he knows as well.
Yeah.
If you were good at something already and then you do it on an empty stomach, it will hurt 10 times more. I'm telling you from experience. It sucks. So, guys, don't do it on an empty stomach. Don't do challenges on an empty stomach. Don't eat chili on an empty stomach. Maybe the really mild stuff, but still, again, don't do stuff on an empty stomach, especially challenge foods and especially competitions. Yeah. But what's it called? Your mindset. Is there any other things that you're going to do with your mindset to try and either push forward or get past trying to face off against people like Gabby and Adam and all these other guys like Ben?
I'm not allowed to come home if I don't win, so that's a driving factor.
What do they call it? Burning the bridges. You got to burning the boats. So the strategy for the art of war. Absolutely.
I'll just go in. Yeah. I'll go in.
So we're going to say, just go for it.
I'll just go in and just try my best. Like I'm pretty stubborn and I've got a high pain tolerance. So
fair enough.
As long as my body itself doesn't. Sorry.
Should we make it the world's hottest corn chip nachos the night before?
No, not the night before.
The night before?
No, they were good, but it just still that hit my because I ate that on an empty stomach technically, like that was my dinner, and then when that finally hit my stomach, it was a bit rough, but it tasted really good.
No, that's fair enough. So look, I want to ask you: is there any advice you'd like to give the people that want to attempt or try the things that you're trying and doing right now? Because there's a lot of people, especially the younger generation, that are starting to see all this kind of stuff on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like all over the internet and that. Any advice that you want to give to them, both with trying challenges, trying competitions, and trying to get towards the national comp?
Start with light mild chili, and you'll know when you need to move up, like lifting weights or anything. It'll be nothing for you.
I to see that someone goes, it's pretty light. It should be all right. And then he's small reaper. This is light. It's light. They go, but it was light.
Yeah, if you jump in up here and then you think, oh, fuck, I can't do it, that'll be the end of your chances. But if you start lower and steadily work your way up, yeah, you'll go as far as you want with it.
So start
your body's,
small or
yeah. Well, your body gets.
we might say mild. Let's go with mild.
Mild.
So start mild and work your way up the heat levels, because you're sort of saying like you might scare yourself off it. Whereas chili can be quite enjoyable. That's the thing. A lot of us, the reason why we're here is because we're chili heads. We like our spicy food and then food where it's amplified or augmented by the spice, And if you add chili to a dish, it can actually add to the flavor. It's not just going owie, burny, owie, pain, and so it can be enjoyable. And then, like you're saying there, if you build your tolerance over time, it's more enjoyable. And those dishes that you thought, like you're saying there, you thought were too hot will suddenly be much more achievable and more enjoyable. That's at least my experience. Is that something that you've experienced and felt as well?
Yeah, that's how it is for me. Like when I first ran into reapers, I couldn't just eat a reaper. Like that's dumb. And now it's not a thing.
I would never forget my first reaper. I was with Mark from this chili company in Queensland. Was it the Chili Tribe or something? And we did 26 sauces, some jerky, some spicy nuts, and all this other stuff. Building past, was it Shit the Bed, and then the Black Label one, and then all these other 1 million, 2 million Scoville sauces. And he goes, right, and he just popped out this reaper out of nowhere. I'm going, where did that come from? He goes, here you go, it's the last one. I'm like, what about you? He goes, it's the last one. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm crying and I'm drooling and I'm going, yay. He goes, well, you're initiated now. I broke your virginity. I popped the cherry, so it can't get much worse from there. But I was wrong because there's things called extracts.
Yeah.
So look, what's in the future for Tom the Stomper? Like, obviously, we've got this national comp going on. Is there anything you're going to work towards as well? Like, are you starting to see a bit of a chili career or something in this, or what do you think about this?
I'll see how we go in Sawtell, but I'll definitely be back next year in Darwin. I'm not gonna fold that title up. Like,
that's the thing. Because now you are the Darwin Chili champ.
Yeah, so exactly.
Technically, I suppose you got to go back and defend it, right? You got to defend the title. And
I walked into Darwin River Tavern the other day where we had the competition up here, and the bar staff were like, "Oh, Chili Man!" So
that's the thing. Now you're going to be forever known as the Chili Man, because that's the thing. I walk around and go, "Hey, it's Chili Man!" It's the thing. But that's the other thing as well. Then it sort of puts you a bit of a target on your back for competitions, because if people are going, "Oh, you're the guy I need to beat to be the champ," right? It's funny. It's almost like boxing. People are like, "You're the guy. I'm watching you. They'll be testing you for any weaknesses and stuff as well." And if they are wanting to contend, they're probably going to be watching you on the national comp too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was it eat a buffet the night before an insane spicy contest if it has extract? I was so knocked out over the weekend after being very unprepared for a wing contest with Mad Dog. Oh yeah, have you tried that Mad Dog 357?
No.
So it's extract sauce, I believe. Is that right, Punk Gardener? Mad Dog, I thought it was the plutonium one, I'm not sure. But Mad Dog makes some really psychotic hot stuff. I think they were the ones that made one. It was based off the Back to the Future thing, and it had the flux capacitor on the label like that as well, which looked pretty cool. It was a cool looking sauce. But apparently it's stupid hot. It's like, yep, the plutonium one sucks. There you go. Yeah. Must be full of extract. So maybe that's a good little training source to work towards the comp as well. Because
I wonder if I can get some up here quick enough. I'll have a Google tonight.
They said downloaded. You can order it online and get an express post. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, mate. Well, look, that sounds like we'll wrap things up from here. But I want to give you a chance to have any shout outs or any people you want to yell out and thank for getting you here, or get to the comp, and any people in your life that you want to yell at and shout out to.
I'd like to thank, obviously, Coates for sponsoring me, getting me down to Sawtell. My wife for putting up with the stupid things I eat. My mate Baker, who told me all about the competition. And then my mate Rossi and Cameron, who come down on the day in Darwin, cheered me on. And, you know, when you got people there that are counting on you, you don't want to just give up on something trivial.
Absolutely. You reckon that pushes you a bit further as well?
Yeah, you know, like there's moments where you're like, oh, fuck, what am I doing? But then you see your mates out there going, come on, mate, you got this. Give you that bit of a boost and off you keep going.
And anything you want to say to your competitors before the comp, mate?
I'll see you there. Good luck. But Darwin's full of hot food, so I'm born for it.
There you go. So watch out. Oi, watch out, Tom the Stomper. All right, mate. Well, look, I'll let you go. Have an excellent night. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. And we'll see you in person very soon in Sydney on the long road all the way up to Sawtell. Bloody oath, mate. So
yeah, we'll have to get a carton for the drive. Oh, you got to open carrot for carnivals.
Have a couple of refreshments. Yeah, they're going to be hungover again. Circle continues. Right, circle of life. Simba. Just put some. Oh, there you go. At the start of the comp, I'll go like that. Put some chili extract on your forehead.
Right across my eyes. I'll start sweating. I'll be
initiated. Have been initiated. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's. Well, I'll let you go, mate. You have a great night. Thank you for joining us.
Mate. Thank you very much.
Have a good afternoon as well, and just being so honest too. We'll see you very soon, and everyone tune in for from Darwin because you won't want to miss this. This is your Darwin Chili Champ. All right, Tom the Stomper, I'll let you get out of here, mate.
Catch you later. Mate. Thank you.
All right, Spice Legends. Well, that's it for our Spicy Goodness. Thank you so much for joining in. Wow, Tom the Stomper, the Northern Territory Chili Champion, all the way from Darwin, flying in very soon for the July 6th Sawtell Chili Festival Australian Chili Championship. Wow, we're going to start roughly about midday-ish, maybe 1 p.m.-ish on the day, Australian Eastern Standard Time. For Darwin, that you're half an hour behind, so that'll be about 11:30, 12-ish, whatever. So it's going to be epic. We're going to have 3 different streams. We're going to have our static stream where it'll be Facebook and YouTube. We're going to have our handycam streams where I'll be carrying them around like this. Yep, that's right. Sorry, TikTok. Carrying them around like this. They'll be in their faces, getting into it, so you won't miss any of the action. You can switch between the 2 or you can stay on the one. Whatever you guys want to do, we've got your back. So we will be live streaming on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube simultaneously. So no matter where you are in Australia or the world, you can tune in. So that's it for our Spicy Goodness, Spice Legends. But make sure that you're tuning in. Saturday, 6 p.m., we have the New South Wales Chili Champion, Adam, the Chili King Connell. You might have seen him on Australia's Got Talent with me. Wow, he ate 25 Carolina Reapers in 60 seconds. He ate 50 Carolina Reapers in 3 minutes, 22 seconds. This guy ain't no pushover. And, Tom, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Tom, again, for joining us. Well, that's it for our Spicy Goodness, Spice Legends. All I have to say for now is keep calm,